I was just curious, so I want to get this question in there. But who do you think is a better quarterback, Jalen Hurts or Jordan Love?
Man, I lean Jalen Hurts just because I feel Jordan Love, when he's playing his best football, he is the better QB, but Jalen's just more consistent week in, week out. You know what you're going to get for him. And even if he does have a couple of turnovers, he's cool, calm, and collected. He's pretty accurate. I don't see him have too many bad misses. With Jordan Love, it's just like some weeks he can just be a little bit all over the place. You know, I kind of am a little bit disappointed with how Jordan Love has played this year, because I was expecting like an MVP level season, and you know, all the hype that he got after the contract extension. He's like Rodgers and Favre put together. You know, it's just with Jordan Love, I still want to see a little bit more consistency week in and week out. It's just for me, he just can be a little bit up and down as a player. So I just like Jalen Hurts a little bit more, just because I think he's the more consistent of the two quarterbacks. You can't go wrong with either one, but I just slightly lean Jalen, not by a huge margin. You feel me? I don't think the gap is wide at all. It's just that he's just more consistent than Jordan Love.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of those points. I personally would take Jordan Love. I think, looking at this season, in my mind, they're pretty similar. It's like hard. I mean, I don't think like you're crazy to pick Jalen Hurts. Like, how dare you pick Jalen Hurts over Jordan? I don't feel that way. Like, I totally see it. I think for me, you brought up his inconsistency, and I think with me, just in the long run, I feel like Jordan is still gonna take some strides forward, being only in his second year starting. And, just that high-end play, I do think is better than Jalen Hurts' best play. And I just think in, 10, 15 years, when we look back at these two quarterbacks, that Jordan Love's going to be like the guy who I think in the long run people will take. That's just sort of my opinion. And so I'm not sure about this, but my theory partly is, as I brought up earlier with being down in second halves and how good he plays, I think just he needs to be completely let loose. And I know early on it was like, gosh, he's like Brett Favre, but it's like, that's not a negative thing. I mean, sure, you don't want the picks, but Brett Favre, like multiple MVPs, Super Bowls, like, okay, be Brett Favre. So, I mean, I sort of want to see Jordan Love unleashed more, and I hope we see that in this game. But I think that if he can just play loose and free from the start, sure, you're going to have some more picks, but I think the first half of the season, I don't think he was even concerned about picks, because there was an interview early on and people asked him, like, are you concerned about the picks you're throwing? And he's like, I'm going to keep putting it up there. And I sort of like that mentality a little bit. At the time, though, you probably like, oh, can you just like be a little bit more precise in your decision making, which I think he can be. But that's just sort of the reason I'm picking Love, because he can be inconsistent. He can be inaccurate at times. But I think the high end is so like elite that's why I would go with Jordan Love personally. But yeah, that's sort of my thought.